What's going on, y'all? My name is Gold. This is Aspects Slant of a Changing Man. Bringing you another episode. Hope everybody's doing okay, eating some good food, enjoying yourself, having a good night, whatever you're doing, riding in your car, listening on your computer, whatever it is that you're doing right now. I hope that everything's going okay for you. If not, everything's going to get better. Just keep going, keep believing, and everything will be all right. MPLSMIKID at Yahoo, Gmail, at MPLSMIKID at Twitter, um, MPLSMIKID on Instagram, Facebook is Gold Washington, Aspect Slant of a Changing Man. If you want to go to the actual page for Facebook for this show. Thank everybody for being with me, supporting me, and people that give me advice, people that tell me to speak louder or speak more clear, or if they feel that I'm wrong, what more advice, what they want me to talk about. I definitely thank you guys for being, supportive enough to give me stuff to keep me going. Today's episode is the one that I feel is a good one. I feel like it's for the singles, more than it is for the people in relationship, because it's I mean, you could do it, you could look at it in a relationship, but basically it's for the people that actually are beginning to talk to somebody. If you're meeting somebody, or you're beginning to talk to them, you give them your phone number and you're texting them right now. This is basically a show that I feel like is for you. And the title that I'm giving this show is Yes, It's Okay. And I don't want you to look at it the wrong way, but I'm saying yes, it's okay because we don't go by the grandpa days anymore. So, I used to call it the old days, but I'm going to basically start giving them names so you can visualize how far I'm going back. So, in the grandpa days, there was goals set. A man used to come up to a woman and he basically used to let her know, this is my goal. And if you are down with that goal, this is where we're going. And we don't have that today. We just have people talking it out, being in relationships and hoping that it gets there later on. So a man used to come up to a woman and be like, hey, excuse me, you are beautiful and I want you to be my wife. I'm going to make you my wife. And the woman would laugh it off. I even heard, it happens today. I heard LeVar Ball say, that's how he met his wife. He came up to her and he was like, hey, I'm going to marry you. We're going to have 3 beautiful sons. And it was a funny story to me. It was funny to me, but I was like, man, I really like this guy and how he does things, because it's old school standards. So he basically set his goal and was like, hey, excuse me, this is what I'm going for. If you're down with the program, let me know, because this is what we're going to be doing. So it's all right to say, I say it's okay to set your goals. I say it's okay for, 2 people to meet each other and have a conversation about marriage. I definitely think it's okay, because you are definitely letting the other person know what your goals are, where you're heading to, how you feel about the issue, um, especially about marriage. We are at a high rate of non-marriage, especially in the black community. It is very, very high. I don't know the percentage. I thought it was like 75, 80%. That's how high it was. But it's very, very high for a lot of people to not even, be married today and be parents. So, I'm trying to change that around, have people actually move into the marriage column. And, you got to have that goal. You got to know that is the case. This is what we're going for. We're going to jump in this relationship, getting to know each other, building upon getting married. And if you set there early, that they know what you're going for, and you can also scare people off with that. You could scare the wrong person off with that. If they're not going for that, they're not going to want to hear you. A lot of people have scared people off of talking about, marriage in their first one, two, three times of meeting each other because they're not trying to get that whole pressure. They're not trying to have that whole pressure of marriage in their mind. They're trying to have you think about it later on down the line, which gives them an escape later on. Hey, I don't want to get married. I don't want to do this. That's not something I'm going for. Hey, I always wanted to get married. Well, we should have talked about that earlier. So you want to set your goals early, early, very early. In your quest for your relationship. You also want to set your rules. You want to let the person know, hey, these are the bottom line. I feel like back in my day, my mom used to set the rules, and a lot of those rules I followed. And there was one thing I did not follow because it was never, it was never, I can't think of the word right now, enforced. That's what I say. It wasn't enforced for me to do. And that was homework. Everything that I had going on in school, my mom came to the school. She came to the school while I was in school and basically ripped out every piece of paper that I had in my desk and was like, I'm tired of this. You need to do your schoolwork. And I did my schoolwork every day. Every day, my teachers would be like, hey, you are an excellent student in school. Spelling, I did at home. I passed those. But when it came to homework, my mom really didn't, like projects and all that other stuff. She wasn't enforced, so I really didn't do that. But I mean, that was just cleaning up the house. I'm definitely good at that. Dishes, folding clothes, whatever you want me to do, I'm okay with that. But the one thing that was not enforced, I did not do, and I was bad at, and that's why I was bad in school, was homework. That you wanna make sure that you let the person know, like, these are my rules. Hey fam, if you if very early, hey, excuse me, I'm not allowing the cheating. If you think that you're gonna be cheating, move somewhere else. It's like setting your goals. This is what setting your goals. Okay, these are my goals, and this is how we're gonna get there. If there's gonna be cheating in a relationship, we're not gonna get there. So I don't want to have to deal with that. If you're not progressing in a job or getting some type of income in any type of way, I don't want to be around that. You need to be gone. And it's okay for you to say stuff like that. I mean, having a person start off, it doesn't matter where you're starting at. Never matters where you're starting at. If you're going to stay there, that's not good for a relationship because you're about growth. If you're at the top, then that's cool. That's understandable. But if you're not, at the top of where you can get yourself to be, and you're coming into a relationship and the person's like, I want to expand, I'm living in an apartment, but I want to get a house. I don't want to sit here and be doing, be living in apartments all this time. If you guys are living separate, I don't want to be separated in a relationship. That's not where we're going to stay at. We're going to live together. And for us to live together, we have to have a, you got to set any type of standards that you want, any type of rules that you want. Hey, you know, I know I'm going off the hinges, but trying to talk about this, but I mean, it is a serious subject. You got to set your standards. You definitely got to set your standards. It's okay for you to set your standards. It is okay for you to set your rules. It's okay for you to set your standards and say, this is what I feel like I want to go for in a relationship. If you do change it and, go up or go down, that's fine. But you got to set it because those are the people that you're going to want, that you feel like are going to build on the type of life that you want. I definitely am okay with that. Hey, if you don't have this, then I don't want to be with you. That's fine. If you don't have that, I don't want to be with you. That's fine. If you compromise that and you upgrade it or downgrade it, that's fine. But it's on you to have those standards. The one thing I do have a problem with is people setting other people's standards. I think that we shouldn't, if you're not their parents, and you're just a friend that comes over and hangs out, if you're a best friend, it's not okay for you to just jump in and be like, well, I wouldn't do this for my guy, or I don't think you should do that, or I wouldn't be with him because of this. It's not your relationship. If it's more serious to where there's abuse of any type of way, or, there's something going on that ain't right, a lot of cheating or whatever, it's like for you to jump in and be like, hey, this is not right. But for you, if it's not that serious, if he doesn't make enough money or he's struggling to do something, at least he's trying. So if you are jumping in and you're knocking their um, thoughts off of that person, that could be a good guy. That could be a loving guy. He could be a guy that takes care of all the business that he can, but just doesn't have the extra to make every extra that you see to make you happy. But it's not your relationship in the same time. So I don't like when people jump in or people have standards for somebody else. I mean, have standards for yourself. If you're not in a 60-year, relationship, and I mean marriage and happily married, and you're, this, I don't think you should be jumping in telling somebody your age, something that, or any age, something that they don't need to hear at the time. Everything could be going good and well. I mean, and sometimes misery loves company. You got to know that if you're miserable, don't try to make somebody else's relationship miserable. Don't try to separate somebody else from their relationship because you don't have one. Or you're missing your friend, so you try to think of any way to down him. I mean, that's just examples. It's not always the reason, but it's just examples of why you shouldn't do that, because that's how you look. And we got to be able to help others as far as, building them up, encouraging them, making sure they see what's right. You know, um, if somebody's going through a situation and they just need somebody to talk to them. If they're going through something that they don't have the skills to be able to move on, and what they need, talk to them, let them know, sit them down, have a conversation with them. If they're struggling with emotions that are inside of them, and you feel like you have the tools to help them out to try to build their relationship or build their courage or build their, or try to destroy the insecurities they have inside, help them out. We need to start helping each other out and stop looking at somebody as somebody I don't want to talk to, somebody I don't want to deal with. Oh, he's going through his thing. I don't want to deal with somebody like that. I don't want to help out nobody like that. It might be you that can help that person out just by the way that you've been doing things or the experiences that you have that can help somebody. So we want to be able to help others. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm doing this for. It's to help. So I want to encourage more relationships to stay together. I want to encourage men to do the right thing. I want to encourage women to, do the right things in relationships so that you guys can stay together, so that we can expand more, so then we can build more. And I'm just telling you as a friend, if you see a friend doing something wrong, let them know. You know, um, It says it in the Bible. If you allow someone to do something bad and you do not let them know that it's wrong, you are just as guilty as them for allowing them to do that without the warning of what's going on. And that's a lot of what's going on today, is just allowing people to do wrong, accepting that they're doing wrong and being like, it's none of my business. If you're a friend, let them know. You don't have to jump in and fight them for it, but let them know, hey man, this isn't right. Especially for a lot of men, because a lot of men see a woman that is, at home, taking care of the business, taking care of the bills, and the guy don't be working at all. And they will allow that guy to go out there and cheat and be like, yeah, man, it's good, it's cool. But in your mind, you're convicted for it because you know it's not right. You don't say anything and let them know it's wrong.